Keep advancing.
So, he finally shows his face.
Everyone, he's here! We must strike now before he flees!
Are you mad? We don't have the strength to face him head on. We've been fighting for 3 days straight. He'll obliterate us in a matter of moments.
Pashley! I didn't realize you decided to join us.
Of course. You didn't think I would miss out on all the fun, did you? But Zamoody challenging him of all people? You can't be serious.
Just trust me. I can take him.
You heard, Beardo. Get the Corpse Whisperer. Watch my 6. I'll clear the way.
It's no use, Eld. We'll never reach him.
You're too slow, Smith. The cavalry will lead this charge.
Captain Badger, just in time. Wait, we have a cavalry?
Well, we do now. You'd be surprised what you can order online. Same day delivery, too.
Enough of this nonsense! We're almost there. I almost have him.
Zamoody, slow down!
Zamoody! Don't let your drive blind you! You can't do this alone!
I can handle this. I can do this. Just keep pushing forward.
Zamoody, watch out! Ah!
Oh!
Stay with us, Badger. Oh no, is there anything we can do?
I'll stay with him. Burnham, Pumpkin, keep them off us while I do what I can. The rest of you, go make sure his sacrifice means something.
He's getting away! We must hurry!
And so, this is where we make our last stand. Come then, Cold Reed. I'm ready.
Let's finish this.
You're not going anywhere, Matt.
This ends now!
Go on then, Zamoody. My old friend. Do your worst.
Meteor
Yes!
Goodbye, old friend. It is done. The battle's over. We won. We won!
Yes, but at what cost? It will take us a long time to recover from this. Some of us will need more time than others. Goldreed's faithful have given all they have to give. Let us hope it is enough.
The ends have justified the means. Coldreed is safe once more.
And yet, too many souls now wander my grove.
Ravenmane? Is that you? I thought you were barricaded in by the bloodsuckers.
I was.
Raven, the battle's over. We won. No need to look so grim.
The battle is over, this is true. But it has only just begun for me.
What do you mean? My gods, man, you look paler than death itself! Again with the jokes.
I have no idea what you're talking about. On the contrary, I've never felt more alive.
Never felt more alive. This guy looks like a walking corpse.
I remember feeling afraid, terror even, as our defenses crumbled into dust. That fear was then soon replaced by pain. And then, power.
Raven, what do you... Ah! You're no longer part of the living world.
Astute observation. You don't deserve this, but I was told we have need of you. Souls are no longer your domain, Grim. They are mine.
I'm impressed. You four really did a number on me. But even you should know, I'm banished from death.
No.
Learn from this. Learn not to make promises you cannot keep. Learn that as hard as you may try, you are not heroes. You are human. You will fall and you will fail. To err is human, and now I am above such things. We must leave you now. The heart calls. Oh, and try not to burn yourselves out, friends.
And there you go. The end. Or
Holy
the end of season
mackerel.
1.
So, well, first off, I usually try to start with this particular song, so let's do this real quick. And
Thanks, Eld.
welcome, everybody. Welcome to Cold Read the Podcast. The intro that you just heard was made by the absolutely talented Renara Hawke over on the top right-hand side if you're watching us here. Welcome if you're here in person or if you're watching us on YouTube or anywhere where you get your podcasts. This is Cold Read, a Cold Actors podcast. If you have any questions or if you have any comments or any topics you want us to talk about, email us, coldreadthepodcast@gmail.com. That was part 3 of this epic tale that Renara has been just creating with Matman assistance and idea and a little bit of co-writing in there too, I think.
No, this was sort of a thing that I sort of set myself up for right at the beginning and thought, I'm a storyteller, I want to create something out of this with you guys. So I was like, it's just continued from there basically. So that is the end of season 1, and we now have our next new big baddie, Mr. Ravenmane.
Oh, cannot wait. Thank you so much, Ravenmane, by the way, for coming in and stepping in with Eldurrino being unavailable.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, my friend. Eldurrino is in chat. I guess my part 3 is going to have to blow that one out of the water because Eldurrino's also telling his own tale on the side, and he's on part 2. So the bar keeps getting raised with these intros, and I'm scared because Pashley and I are like, we have to come up with this stuff, and I can't compete. I don't know how you guys do
We're
it.
pushing you. We're pushing you to develop and grow and get better every single day.
Every single day. Nixon the Star says, Gods, you make voice acting look amazing. I adore to voice some fan attempt of Doctor Who's War Master. I've seen a lot of Doctor Who stuff come out, so that's always very cool to hear. But yeah, thank you so much. Let's just go into our normal routine. I know the intro song is still going, but we're gonna let it keep going. For those of you that are here, this is what I'm gonna call the end of season 1. So this is episode 23 or 24, I think, and sorry for not remembering.
About that.
Yeah. So we've been at it for about over 6 months now. We're coming up on halfway through this.
Really?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? We started in like early December or late December, and here we are now. We're in Maine, so it's coming up on about 6 months. So I'm gonna redesign some of the stuff. We're gonna redo some of the music again. I know, Eldurrino, because we did take that 1 week off, so keep that in mind. So with that in mind, welcome everybody. Let's go ahead and check in. And as always, we start on the other side of the world. So Ms. Renara Hawke, how are you this week?
I am okay now. I had to edit all of that whilst getting ready for a trip which is happening tomorrow. So I had today to less than about 5 hours to just pack all of my stuff, make sure I had everything, get everything together for a week-long trip tomorrow. So had to get all that out of the way. I finally got my chapter 2 out, which was a labor of love, I'll tell you that much. I'm glad it's finished and then I can move on to the next bit. But yeah, no, it's been basically just managing stress levels, really, which is kind of ties in quite nicely to today's theme a little bit.
Yes.
But yeah, no, other than that, I think I'm doing okay.
And once again, let me say excellent intro. Thank you so much. Look forward to season 2 of these particular months. Hopefully you'll take a couple of weeks or months off, because we do this about once every month we rotate in. So yeah, good job. Pashley, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I actually, retail therapy is a thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And I spent this entire weekend shopping for a professional female wardrobe.
Nice.
And it was also really nice to get out of the house with Brian. I mean, it's great hanging out with him, having that one-on-one time with him, but then, just to be away from computers and not playing games.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice. So it kind of dovetails into Burnout, know when to unplug and go be in the world.
Yes. I love it.
So I'm terrific. I'm really, really excited about the coming months and starting my new job. It's probably gonna be a lot of work, but it's a great cause. And I'm excited to be back in voice lessons real time and getting back into my church job real time, so everybody's opening back up.
Some normality is coming back.
Yeah.
Traffic, unfortunately, is coming with it, and that really sucks.
Yeah. I live in the DC area, so.
Yeah, I'm Southern California, so yeah. Ravenmane, how are you doing, my friend?
Hi.
Welcome. Thank you again for stepping in last minute.
So there have been 2 troublesome things in the Raven world this week.
Oh no.
First of all, on Sunday, a friend of mine was filming a short mini-series thing. It's like a play on old 70s soap operas. So it's like a little 10-episode mini-series. It is called Soap and Bubbles. I'm sure there's a really good reason for the title. He only gave me my lines, like I was Tom Holland in an Avengers film, though, so I don't know exactly what everything is going on with. But there's a lot, there's a thing in one of the last episodes where it's like, oh, I might be my fiance's secret stepbrother, all kinds of schmaltzy, goofy things like that in a soap opera. Soap opera cliches, all of them crammed into one.
Yeah.
And in that same episode, the disappeared dad reappears. So it's a little dumb, if we're being honest, but so are soap operas.
It's fun dumb.
Yeah, it's fun dumb. But filming that with my friend Dan, destroyed my sleep schedule because we were supposed to be going from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and we went from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. So then I went into work on Monday at 9 a.m. So
Zombie
I was like, I messaged somebody at work. I was like, I'm going to be a corpse today, and I hope that's cool. But then I ended up being a corpse
In character.
whole week of just being a dead person. On top of that, I live in sunny, beautiful, rainy, cold New Jersey, which is a funny way of saying I hate money. And recently in New Jersey, they lifted the mask mandate.
Ooh, okay.
So
did that down here
you
too.
don't have to wear masks anymore if you're vaccinated.
There's a caveat, yeah.
I was like, man, oh man, can't wait to go to my gym and see how many people are wearing masks. And on Friday, everybody. There were 3 people not wearing masks, and they were way over there. So fuck them, who cares? I was over here, safe. And so I was looking forward to, when I was asked today if I could be on the podcast, I was like, yes. So I was looking forward to coming here after the gym, as I am wont to do, and being like, yeah, and everyone kept wearing masks. And because I live in New Jersey, that is exactly what did not happen. Nobody was wearing a mask. There were 3 people wearing masks today at the gym, and I was like, God damn it, you're making this hard.
Yeah.
Well, at least in the UK, it's you can choose to wear a mask if you want whilst you're outside, but if you go in anywhere, you have to wear a mask. You have to. It's still a thing. So at least Boris is doing one thing right.
Right.
Freedom.
On our side, I think California is going to reevaluate the mask mandate come 6/15. But until then, it's up to the business to keep everything going. And for the most part, they're still encouraging it. So that's good. So we'll see what happens then. Yeah.
Right then.
Yeah.
I am nervous. You said I'm taking the lead, so I'm nervous to do so, but I will try.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry. We got you, Renara. We can cover you.
Okay.
As far as my week goes, I've got 4 more days before my surgery, so I've had about 30 panic attacks, I think, in about the last 2 days. This is always very, very interesting. I'm actually going to end stream after this particular program because I want to make sure that everything's ready to go, and that way I can relax the next couple of days and enjoy some video games, because I know I'm not going to probably be able to do a lot with the right shoulder. I did get back into the booth. You know, you guys, I had the intro last week where Ravenmane helped us as the voice of reason with the whole imposter syndrome. I was able to get back in. Nyx has got their second jab, so congrats. Yay. So yeah, I'm looking forward to recovering. I'm looking forward to being able to the only drawback is when I get into the booth over here, it's, you know, it takes 2 hands to close the door. So that'll be interesting.
I'd say use a foot, but I don't think that would work.
No, it's very, very oddly put together. So, I mean, it is what it is, and it does a good job. So I'm very happy about that. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm going to just be in on the second. I'm going to be out on the second. They've given me a whole bunch of pain pills. So if I'm goofy and I'm streaming, because I'm try not to do too much, I apologize in advance for the next week. But yeah, with that, thank you, everybody. Let's talk about the topic of the week. So you even brought it up at the end of the intro. Yeah. The topic is burnout. We've been holding on to this one until the very end of this one. So Renara, this was your vision. How do you see this as our topic today?
Well, because it's the one thing that I'm guilty of the most. I think it's the one weakness, at least for me, that I have this problem of I will work until I can no longer work. I have no way of stopping. So I thought it would be a good idea to talk about this, because I don't know how you guys deal with it. I only know how I deal with it. So I thought it'd be interesting to figure out what sort of techniques everyone has and how to help not get to that point again, because I am struggling a lot when it comes to that, because I ended up burning out, as a lot of people on my Discord know. I burnt out about a couple of weeks ago, hardcore. I had to step away from all technology, just stay in bed, couldn't even get close to yes, Fire, I know, I'm very guilty of this.
I was about to say, yeah, no. Fire and Brimstone says, yes, Hawke, you're very guilty of burning yourself out.
Yeah. And I think it's one thing that is important to discuss, at least in the world of creativity, because there's a lot less structure in our professions and what we do, so we have to structure it ourselves. At least for me, when burnout occurs, it's everything I love becomes taxing and horrible, and I don't want to do it, but I feel like I need to do it. And I just, like Zamoody's line was, keep pushing forward. And it's always the same sort of thing. Like it's with chapter 2 very recently, that thing I was like, I have 60 individual pieces of Foley that I have to source for this one chapter, and just looking at it was like, oh my god. And so I then had to, even breaking it down into small pieces, I found it so difficult to just go, even if I'm doing 5 pieces today, I don't want to do it. And that's how I know I was burnt out, because I didn't want to do it. And I love these things. I was wondering if anyone else had any similar experiences for anything that you've done recently, and what you've done in regards to getting around that.
Well, let's go ahead, because burnout could mean something different for anybody else. So for Pashley or Ravenmane, what does burnout mean for you two? I see Ravenmane is shifting and getting ready to.
Well, it's really interesting. I'm not gonna throw this we was just talking about this, right. Well, listen to my fucking story, you know? But I was really put to the test when my son was first born. And there is no go take a break. I mean, eventually after 6 weeks, my thankfully my former mother-in-law was like, oh, he's a little baby, let me take him overnight. And I was like, ah. But there's 6 weeks there where you're like, just to put it in perspective, if you're nursing a baby, you're feeding they eat every 2 hours. But they take 45 minutes to nurse. You have to change a diaper. You have to you're talking like just fucking pushing it. And what I was doing then was just sleeping when I could. You know what I mean? This is like the most visceral thing, like, because there's no end in sight. You know what I mean? But just doing what you can and measuring your expectations appropriately. So if the baby is actually asleep, don't go and clean the house. Go sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a parallel here because, like, as streamers and as professionals, we tend to like go boom, boom, boom. And like something that Brian has really helped me with is to say, like, sweetie, you're really, really exhausted. Like, just go watch TV. So that's, I think, having the time to just unplug yourself and do something that really makes you happy and fill your bucket is important, and planning it appropriately. A little bit at a time rather than hitting a wall and then leaving for 3 months, like in regards to streaming, because that's the number one thing you don't want to do as a streamer is like take off for 3 months and then nobody's there when you get back, you know. Right. So
well, I mean, even if you do it too much, anything in that profession, in that particular area, if you burn out and you take 3 months off, you're essentially starting from ground zero, and that's a very difficult thing to do. Yeah. Ravenmane, how about for you? I see that you're agreeing with Matt Man down there.
So, let's talk about me with Burnout. Let's talk about stars, the life cycle of a star. So, stars usually start as a stellar nebula, a bunch of random atoms and gas. They kind of coalesce together. They can either be an average star or a massive star. If you're a massive star, you'll eventually transition towards the end of your life cycle into a red supergiant. If you are a sufficiently large supergiant, what's going to happen is you're going to supernova. You're going to explode. My only experience, I've only ever had like one experience with burnout, which is strange and fortunate, probably because I guess I accidentally manage my stress well.
Yeah,
I guess.
I did a production of a show called Grease. I'm sure everyone is familiar with it. Mm-hmm. Several years ago, I played Kaneki. There's a pop vinyl of me as Kaneki right there. So somebody made that for me. It's cute. I found it the other day. The problem was during this production, and I did not realize it until the production had been over, I had just been going way too hard for way too long. And that manifested in me being super aggressively over the top irritable all the time. Just like there was a moment during Tech Week, there is a production company in East Brunswick, New Jersey, who was filming this production to film a promo for EBTV. And something went wrong with Grease Lightning, the car. I couldn't drive it on stage. Somebody didn't set it up so that I could move it, and nobody had ever taught me how to fix that problem. So what ended up happening was people were being like, the car comes on now. And the band is vamping. The car comes on now. Eventually somebody got on a God mic, which is a microphone that would be in the back in the sound booth that they can then talk through in the audience too. And somebody goes, Kaneki, could you please drive the car on stage?
Oh, shit.
And it turns out that was my breaking point.
Yeah.
Because I just saw red, and I exploded.
You're in the red zone.
I got out of the car. From what I heard, people in the back told me this is what they heard. They heard over the, because we have a monitor in the back to hear what's going on. They heard slam, stomp, 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 stomp. Nobody raise the fucking things. The car's not moving. Somebody come fix this shit. Slam, 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 slam. Go to a door, slam the door. Hold.
Hold.
We're filming for EBTV. Rip open. Who fucking cares? Slam.
Wow.
That is extra.
That's awesome.
Brilliant.
It is probably my least proud moment of all time because I don't like losing my cool. It's not fun for me at all. But I really lost it, and I felt bad about that for a really long time. But that's burnout for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, you're like the sweetest person ever. So just to hear that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at it, but it's just comical.
It's
for
weird,
me
right?
To see you in that frame of view. In all honesty, wow. So I mean, burnout for me turns into my issues when it comes to like the imposter syndrome that I've talked about. Not having the fun. My product obviously suffers if that particularly starts happening, and it is time for me generally to step away. And the problem with that obviously is we're streamers. We try to be professional voice actors. If you've got momentum, you have to keep going, or at least that's what you feel like. And sometimes you do it so much that it hurts your momentum, and all of a sudden you're just way pulled back. So yeah.
Because I have a similar problem in the sense of I do YouTube, and every time you go away for a little while, in the sense of if you're like Markiplier and the big ones can do that because they've got a big enough audience that they can do that. But for someone like me who is tiny, I've done that a couple of times before, and it does hit because again my chapter 2 hasn't received the same amount as it normally would on a regular basis. But the one thing that keeps coming to mind is that a lot of the time my burnout starts with my day job. It's usually something in my day job has stressed me out to the point where it's then started to leak into what I do outside because I'm so tired from my day job to then come back to try and then do it. From what my understanding of it is that we all have to keep our day job. We all have to keep like a roof over our heads. So I'm not sure how I can manage that, if you get my meaning, because I mean, my job is I work with teenagers all day, all day, and I work with the same teenagers all day, and sooner or later these teenagers start to feel comfortable enough around me that they do not see me as an authority figure anymore. So that's I'm being a teaching assistant. We bridge this middle gap where we're not a full teacher because we're not stood in front of the class teaching, but we are there to help facilitate the learning. So it's a weird middling ground where things can get lost in translation. I mean, and I've talked about it. I've had a couple of kids recently like get this close to my face and stress me the hell out because they want to beat up another child behind me or something. And it's those things that I don't know how to manage in regards to not letting it leak through into my passion projects and things I want to do in the outside. So advice. I'm running out of words.
No,
it's a podcast. Great.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Oh, thank you. So it was, I mean, really to consider when it comes to just, I mean, like you said, it's you just start falling behind and it feels more and more difficult. It gets worse as you're not paying attention. Because, like, for example, while I was out, I realized it'd been 3 weeks since I'd put out anything on voices.com. And the problem with that is I pay for that subscription. So I'm losing opportunity and I'm losing time to be able to get myself out there and expand. But it's burnout that's cost me 3 weeks, literally, because I just could not get into the right frame of mind and I couldn't put into the particular product. So it's one of those situations where I have to do this for a second.
Yeah,
so
I just saw that real quick. I did just see that real quick.
So for you that just came in, welcome, I will say, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a time out, so apologies. Thank you so much. So for those of you that are listening to the podcast, I had somebody actually come in and particularly ask for a little bit more attention than I could give them at that moment. So we're trying to produce a podcast here. We're in the podcast at the moment. Thank you for those that are here. I appreciate that. So the one thing I did to be able to get out of it was in all honesty was to talk about it, and I put out the intro last week, and I think the intro really did help me to advance and get back into the rap mindset in order for me to be able to get back into the game. Now honestly, I have not gone back because now I've got this other thing going on, which is the surgery that I've got to think about. So it's an in and out. It's a battle. It's something that we all need to balance as we go. Anybody else?
That's That's
Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Probably the a thing that I would have to co-sign is one of the quickest ways to, like, for me at least, to deal with burnout is acknowledging, hey, this is not a good place to be in right now, and really confront that, really deal with that. Like, so I asked the person who played Rizzo in this show was a very good friend of mine. So I was like, hey, can I ask you something? She was like, yeah, what's going on? I was like, I'm being a fucking asshole, right? Like, I'm really being very, very surly and unpleasant, right? And she was like, can I be honest with you? I was like, please? She goes, yes. Stop it.
Right.
Be better.
So
I needed to hear it.
You have somebody. You
better.
had somebody to check you, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is something that you.
Number of people to check me, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Pashley has Brian. I technically have Grim, but obviously he can't be there 24/7 to keep me in check. But it is the thing of, well, at least in the previous Burnout, he did just kind of go. I just remember him just sort of looking at me, and he didn't have to say anything, and I'm just like going, oh dear. Because we have these little things, these little guys.
Oh, my daughter has one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, and mine was like halfway between. For those on the podcast, I'm showing an octopus with a grumpy and a happy face. See,
Thank
I'm
you.
getting there, Zamoody.
I was about to do that. Yes.
I'm getting there. But I had it midway in between because I knew I felt rubbish, but I didn't feel like I was like full on grumpy. But no, all he had to do was take that and just go and just put it to full grumpy and just hold it in front of me. And I'm going, oh shoot, yeah, maybe.
So realizing,
you might be right.
realizing that you're at that point, that's a good place to start.
Having the language, the visual tool, like, because I work with this with my son who had a deficiency in emotional regulation, and there is a curriculum called Zones of Regulation, which, Ravenmane mentioned seeing red. There's 4 zones. There's blue, sad, green is regulated, yellow is caution, red is off the rails. So kind of having language to assign helped my son in particular. He's like, I'm in yellow, I need a break because I'm approaching red. Because my child was someone who would go for 45 minutes screaming because I took him off the metro. It's... And you got to look at yourself like that in a clinical way. Like, I'm not bad because I'm like, Luke wasn't bad. His brain, he can't drive his brain. Yeah. But once he had those tools to be like, God, I got to go sit in the beanbag chair and get like physical input. It's a very complex thing, but he's now a self-advocate. He can say, I need a break. I need water. I need this, arming yourself with that.
So that kind of links with the communication side of things, of just like being able to let like someone for like Ravenmane, just to have someone just say bluntly, just like, yeah, you're being annoying, and then having the tools to communicate. I don't swear unless I am specifically directed to in the thing, except for yours, Zamoody, because I felt like I had to, because those were cropping up in my brain.
I love it when you swear. You're fine. That might be an issue that we need to talk about another day, but still, I love it when you swear, so you're fine.
Okay, but like this is me doing the teaching assistant of, so the summary so far of that is it's communication is key, and being able to like understand inside you. See, I'm squishing my octopus because it helps me whenever I'm nervous, because I'm very bad at
tactile input.
Things.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why people fidget.
So Majestic Mojo Man is saying mental awareness is very important. So communication, first off, yes, 100%. If you have, because I've got somebody that can check me really, really easily. That's my buddy Turtle.
Yeah.
I've known him for like 25 years. So he is the guy that will come to me and say, hey, you're overdoing it, or you're getting really stressed out, and your stuff is really messing up. So knock it off and step away. And he will tell me, step away. And I will just for a little bit. So that's definitely number one. Other tools to deal with is like have that thing to distract you, have that tactile. So that's great so far. Who else has got what else can we go with? Finding the passion of what you're doing again.
That's true. Or maybe try, because I'm also at the like university level Renara had a nasty habit of starting several projects and never finishing any of them because I would get so stressed out that I wouldn't want to go work on one more. So I'd go, oh, I'll just do a different one that I'm feeling right now, and then never finishing it. Fun fact, I have restarted my YouTube channel 3 times now.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah. So I think there is a benefit to because in the very least of like maybe moving on to a different what's it called, project, but not to forsake your other ones, because I know was it Zamoody that you said you had someone who constantly, was it Eldurrino? I think Eldurrino talked about it, where one of his directors had several projects and he didn't hear back from.
I mean, we've all had that. I think that's part of when it comes to the voice stuff, especially when you're doing it as a hobby. Everybody has a project, but nobody finishes it up. I mean, like for example, I've got the Midnight Poppy that just started back up. I started that one when I first did voice acting, March 2019. We did like 10 episodes and then stopped. First one finally came out last week, and now here we are again. So it's weird because a lot of things will start up and then they'll stop, and that's just unfortunately part of the business, or at least at this level of the business.
Yeah.
But okay, so go ahead.
Don't worry, I was about to say I am very bad at leading podcasts. This isn't my forte. That's yours, Zamoody.
Well, I mean, I've told you guys before, I don't feel like I'm a leader here. We're all equal when it comes to here, and so if you have something to add on, by all means, I'm more than happy to have you in. Eldurrino did give us an audition, so we're gonna get to that here in about 10 minutes because I'm very, very curious to hear this particular one, but we're gonna get there. Let's catch
Another
up.
thing on Burnout.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. Kind of to get back to the thing that I co-signed hard from Matt. When you get annoyed at doing something that you enjoy doing, it's okay to step away from a thing.
But you feel like you have to keep going.
You absolutely, and I totally do, because I have literally never stepped away. Like even musicals, I have viscerally hated. I have never stepped away. And Grease is a great Grease is probably a show I probably should have stepped away from. I was doing that show because I didn't get in another show I really wanted to do. I shouldn't have been doing a show, period. I've been going that year. I think I did like 8 musicals in a year, which is too fucking many musicals. Don't do that ever. If you ever are like, hey, maybe let me try doing musicals, don't do too many in a year. Don't do that. So I should have sat, like, as a direct result of not just being okay with backing out of that project. By the way, I double checked, this was in 2017. In 2017, I did this, and I burned about every single bridge I had at that particular theater, which is very close to where I live now. And then spent the next 2 years rehabilitating my image because of how much of a fucking asshole I was during this particular production.
So this was just kind of like the grand opus of the Burnout? You had like little instances in between? Oh, gotcha.
Or just like how do I express this? So one thing that I tend to do during musicals in general is I'll take, like, if I'm feeling particularly bad in a day, self-care. I'll text the stage manager or the director, whoever the point of contact is, and be like, hey, I'm really sorry. I'm not feeling very good today. I'm not gonna be able to make it to rehearsal. And it's okay to do that. A lot of directors don't love when you take days off close to showtime, but most directors that I've worked with are very understanding. If you need a day, take a day. They'd rather you take a day and chill and come back fresh than power through when you really should be resting.
Right.
Yeah.
They get that. Directors usually understand that. And in Grease, in spite of taking that day, it was still kind of a little shit during the whole production. Yeah, it's okay to step away from stuff. It's better to step away amicably than power through detrimentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question because I'm curious. If this is just me or if it's like other people that are in here. If I'm not doing anything, I feel bad because I could be doing something constructive.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
Yeah, Brian has had to like impart that upon me, like, because moms feel this way. Mom guilt is a thing. Like, I should have folded laundry. I should be ironing. I should be cleaning out the fridge. And it's like part of your work is not working. And part of being a parent is taking care of yourself. And when kids watch you, like this is like kind of taken to a different context, and you know, everyone's like, you have to give everything to your kids, and nothing could be further from the truth. You know, your kids have to watch. The kids have to watch their parents take care of themselves.
Yeah.
They have to watch their parents deal with their emotions correctly, so that they know how, because they watch everything. You know. And I said this, you know, not to get too much into my divorce, but Ravenmane said, like, step away amicably before you don't power through. Like, that's what happened with my divorce. We're just both like, this isn't working. Bye. And now we can function as two parents. But like, I'm happy my son can watch two of his parents be in amicable, loving relationships. He can watch healthy relationships. You know what I mean? So get yourself in a place. Because like it affects the relationships around you. It affects, you know, the directors, your audience, et cetera, et cetera. And you are in control of that. Knowing that you are the person driving that is super important. Like feeling out of control is pretty paramount in burnout, because you're like, I don't know what to do anymore. Oh God. And then you know, and Ravenmane's like lashing out, and you know, it gets off your chest because you're out of control. Right. You know. Yeah. So get yourself in the driver's seat.
You know, go ahead.
I was just saying, I have a tiny tag on because it's the only thing I can think that I can relate to you, Pashley, is that I've even had children that I work with tell me to take days off. I've had my students because of the big C, because I'm not going to say the name of the current pandemic, but basically I felt a migraine coming on, and I'm working with a set year group, so we don't mix. That's why we're in bubbles. So I'm with the same student 4 out of 5 lessons most days. So he's seen me at my best and my worst, and I didn't even have to say anything. He just saw my handwriting slowly deteriorate because I had a migraine coming on. And he just went, "Miss, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." "Miss, you're not okay. Just keep pushing forward." Miss, just go home.
Right.
But it's a weird thing of like you say, parents have to like model what they want their children to do. I'm in the similar position of I'm working with these children who need that one-on-one, who are looking to me for those answers and things, and it's the one thing that I can count on to humble me every waking moment is the students will definitely tell me when to take a self-care break. At the very least I have that, but I just wanted to add that on at the end slightly.
And you know what, Pashley, that really does hit home, because I don't really consider what I'm putting out for my kids to see. And that's actually a really, really good point. The other thing that I'm going to say, it's funny. Well, first off, let me catch up with Burnham. Burnham said that's the cycle. You feel bad about not doing something. You feel bad about feeling bad and not relaxing, and so on. And it just continues on. You're 100% right. And I feel bad because when I do take time off and I try to like hang out and my brain is going like, well, I could have the laptop here and I could be doing this and I could be doing that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm not doing something anymore, and my base reaction is to pass out because I am so tired. I sleep like maybe like 4 or 5 hours a day. So when I am not, and I finally start tuning down the brain, it's like a light switch and I go off. And I feel bad because that's time that I should be spending with my wife. And again, I'm trying to categorize my time into do this, or be streaming, or be voice acting, or be at work, or be, you know, trying to do family time. And I feel like that's what suffers, and that's what even leads to more burnout, because I don't have that outlet.
Well, you know, I'll throw something at you. So not to get too clinical, but me as an undiagnosed ADHD, I know it for sure. It is marked by an impressive inability to control when your brain is turned on and turned off. And I know for me, like when I'm on, I keep going and going and going because I'm like, because if I'm in the zone, I'm fucking productive and I'm focusing and I'm not walking into rooms forgetting what the hell I went in there for.
Right.
So we tend to do that, and I feel like creative people suffer from this. It's a good thing and a bad thing, because once you're turned off, it's exactly what you're talking about. Like, oh, going to sleep. Because we can't. Our brains don't regulate that. Period, end of story. And like that's why, like, I hope we get to the point with his dad that we can medicate Luke, but like to get him like a little boost, like this is what it's like to be focused, this is what it's like, so then it's not like this. He feels so like, what's happening with my brain? I can't do homework right now, I'm turned off. I don't know.
Now, not to go on too much of a tangent, but one of the students that I work with has I'm gonna see if I can quote them correctly. It was that what was it? It's like having 100 tabs open at all in one go, and they're all playing different music.
Yes.
Or something like that. And like there was this thing of where like. You can't like every little noise just grabs your attention immediately, and there is that lack of being able to tune it out. Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's swirling, and it's perfectly acceptable,
Squirrel.
and it's like where to go. So I totally understand. Okay, so we've got communication, we got distractions, we've got finding your passion again. What else can we do to deal with burnout? Is that pretty much a good list?
How about journaling?
Journaling. You know, it's funny because I talked to
I was
Orange.
gonna put this into the. I was gonna throw it in.
Yeah.
Well, like there's all sorts of journaling. Like I've started doing practice journaling, and with my singing, so you can measure like what's working today, what's working, not working. And I was like, well, I wonder if this could be applicable with voice acting. Like I have this.
Ooh.
It's called. I'm disorganized. Yeah, it's called the practice journal, and it's like targeted questions. Well, this is like for musicians in particular, but there's like here's goals.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
That's beautiful. It's called purpose of practicing. But anyway, you're writing things down. Your brain is organizing. You're more likely to accomplish goals if you're writing things down. Not on an app. But like pen to paper.
Wait, what's this? It's so archaic. What are we talking about? I paid for this technology. I need to use it.
But also another thing that I now we're talking about it, my brain's gone, oh, remember this?
Yeah.
But I was told, like, once you've journaled things down, or you've written down a diary of the things that you want to do or have in your mind, or have like just in general what is on the list, you can then move those around. And if for some reason that day you have this amount of stuff scheduled, you can just go, right, I am literally going to move that to maybe tomorrow or whatever. So that I think my main thing is like, I don't want to forget about all the stuff I need to do. And so I just push through and make sure I do everything. Otherwise something's going to slip through the cracks. And then I'll go, oh God, and it's more stress. And then I just stress out about the stress, kind of, which is exactly what happens to me. So maybe to tack onto the journaling of, this is me teaching myself here, guys. Okay. I'm saying it out loud, and I'm going,
you wanted the tip. So here you go. This is fine.
But I feel like I have to explain myself, and that's a terrible habit, and I'll get out of it eventually. But yeah, no, writing it down so that it's visually there, it's not stuck in your brain, and you can then go, right, do I feasibly have enough spoons? Because that's an energy analogy that we used. Do I have enough spoons today to spend on doing X, Y, Z and everything? And then maybe that might stop at least the everyday stuff from stressing me out, which then leads to, hey, I can now do the creative stuff and feel like I can do it. Huzzah! We got there. I am so British. That's terrible. Huzzah!
Okay, and I will mark this for my next intro because that's going to be a good one.
Broken Ravenmane.
Writing this down. That is 49 minutes in. Okay, great. I think this is good. I think this is a good place for us to leave that. Pashley, I did promise you that I would give you a Pashley's Corner. We've been talking about.
I kind of tossed it in there though.
Oh, okay.
Was gonna
journaling?
because I was thinking about burnout. Yeah, like making a practice of journaling and writing down what's working. Like identify like I'm dry today. My tongue is really tight. Or I really slept fucking wrong and I got to do some stretches, you know, stuff like that. That's what I was going to impart because that's what I've been working on this week.
Love it.
And I think that's very generalized. It all kind of, it seemed to filter down to a lot of applicable topics here today.
Yeah, it's great.
So
I love it.
Yeah. But write things down if it works. That because the thing with the voice, singer, voice actor, it's different every day, and you are so subject to your body, and it's in here. You can't unless you have an endoscopy. You're not going to see what's going on.
Right.
So, having a toolkit in front of you. I'm going to do downward dog because my lower back hurts. Woof.
Well, that wasn't planking a channel redemption for a while on your stream.
It just came back.
Oh no!
Because my lower back, I threw out my back the other week. So what do I have to do? Core exercises. So to bring my body and voice into homeostasis. That is an actual A&P term. Nice. Your body wants to be regulated and normal. So.
Well, I think we've got a lot of good hints. Anybody else want to add anything else at the end? Or if not, we're going to move on to Eldurrino's, because I'm super curious about this audition.
Let's go on to that, because knowing me, I'll always tax something on at the end. So I'm going to stop now.
Fire and Brimstone is asking, is an endoscopy part of the toolkit? I don't know. Pashley, is it?
This is Fire's brand of sarcasm.
Gotcha.
Fire is the most sarcastic bastard I've ever met.
I'm wearing the right shirt for today, let me tell you. Okay, great. So Eldurrino, this is literally called, let me see what it's called again. Effects, mixer. This is called Eldurrino Country Balls Audition.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. All right. Playing it in. What was that, Ravenmane?
Oh, I said, oh, okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Greetings to you, comrade. You may hear a large boom explosion in the night. Worry not, so excite! We are no longer hide newest Soviet invention of science. Is Ukraine super soldier? It have free eye for extra C, very rifle accuracy, and have many strength. It even lift whole cow. Is he okay? Of course. He practiced super roar scream of many scare.
I think he is dead.
No, comrade. He just listen for vibration ground of sneaking enemy. Yes, good hearing. Yes.
Wow, amazing.
I'm super curious what this is for.
that was bloody brilliant.
Well, I mean,
he said, note on the audition, it's for an upcoming YouTube channel involving Country Balls, a comic series that is popular on Reddit and such.
Ah, gotcha. Thank you. I was about to go look to see if there was a note attached to it. So, Dorino's been, I mean, he's really grown when it comes to his characters. It's crazy. Yeah. The character, I mean, it's, how do you say, it's a caricature of obviously the Ukrainian Soviet thing. It's really developed, and I think it's coming out great.
Yeah, because I've never heard him do that. It was like, oh my god, he managed to do that sort of thing. Because I'd never heard him do that, but now I hear about it, like his voice is perfect for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's also with characters like that, there's that fine line between taking the piss and doing it accurately. And I think that was just about right in the sense of it was funny, but it wasn't. It sounded natural with his type of voice. So that's what I'm going to say.
Agreed. Any other notes for our wonderful Dorino? You haven't heard my Chinese accent. It's fucking awful.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Not.
I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
I kind of pose a question. How? I guess it depends on the direction that the director takes.
Okay.
Redundant. But how much clarity of text do we need to sacrifice? Because like listening to that, maybe I'm just dumb, but there was some words that I couldn't get because of the accent. You know.
I mean, the goal I think for a voice actor is to be able to portray the line as clearly as possible. In this particular case, I think I don't think I lost any words in that, so it's not something that affected me.
So it's probably just me. Maybe it was like because it was playing over my end low, but anyway.
Yeah. Maybe.
I loved the accent. I thought it was.
Very nice.
Eldurrino, teach me your secrets of accent work. I need them.
Yeah, we've heard your hillbilly. Now we've heard your Ukrainian Soviet dude.
Now he needs to work on English.
Ooh.
I set you a challenge, good sir. I wish to hear your English, Eldurrino.
The personal attacks portion. Good.
So
Good.
No, he played with pitch too. I really, really liked that. You know, like.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, and then multiple characters too. I love how you can actually put in two distinct characters into the same thing. I'm terrible at it because there are some auditions that specifically ask, "Hey, you want to do this commercial? But we need a second voice that you can do and that you can throw in." So that's a good skill to add onto your toolbox. What about from our award-winning actor? Waiting for him to point. There it is. Any notes for our wonderful road to Eldurrino?
So to kind of piggyback off what Renara was saying, what I liked about this a lot is obviously we were doing a very, very exaggerated put on Soviet accent. But directly in spite of doing this, it didn't come off as too hammy. It's real when you're doing a caricature voice. It is stupid easy to be hammy about it. But it didn't strike me as too extra. It was just the right amount of, to use a dickhead actor phrase, just enough living truthfully. As this absurd character.
Yes.
Like, no, he is using his ears on the ground. Like, chef's kiss.
He is.
Well, that's absolutely great. Well, Dorino, hopefully that helps you out. Apparently, so far we like it. Is this something that you've submitted already, or is this something you're looking to submit? He says, "Thanks, my friends."
Always here to help.
While we're submitted. Nice. Okay, so good to go. Good luck to you, my friend. Hopefully that works out to you. We're gonna have what I consider a new season next week. We're gonna have some changes when it comes to the overlays, the music that we play, and Pashley is gonna start off season 2. So good luck to you, because the bar is always, it's like past Mars now, going into other solar systems. Because
no, I think everyone has their own bar.
I like to stay in my lane. This is what I'm capable of, and this is what I'm beautiful at.
I love what you do. I mean, yours is great. Always, even if you throw in Brian in there and
Brian.
I think you've made fun of me the last 2 of them, so I'm looking forward to see what happens on this one.
We could do an intro about renovation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That'd be cool.
There we go. There's a flirty version of that scene. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what's going on in chat anymore.
Chat's devolved into chaos. I apologize.
Good.
Because most of them are people I know.
If you all want to join in the fun, we do these recordings Sunday mornings. Sunday at noon Pacific Standard Times. 3 p.m., 4 p.m., or if you're over in England, what time is it over there, Renara?
But start at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. So we're prime time over on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
If you have any questions or any topics that you would like us to discuss, coldreadthepodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions regarding acting, regarding programs that we use, anything in general, send it to us. We have a good network of people to help us out. We've got the great Ravenmane, Orange
Do
Glad.
it for this. Do it for the octopus.
Do it for the
octopus.
We will be more than happy to listen to your auditions. If
Yes.
you want to send them in, we're very constructive. We don't make fun of anybody. We will let you know what you can work on and what can help. We captured it for chaos. Oh my god. But until then, thank you so much again. I should say thank you so much, Ravenmane. I appreciate you being here. Keep those auditions going. Don't, push record as long as you're having fun, but don't burn yourself out. I think that's super important. That way your product is always the best that it can.
Mm-hmm.
Until next time, everybody.
Slow down.
Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.